Perfect place to be. I hope I see you all there. And for the time being, I hope you have a great time. Enjoy it. Well, the story is quite big and I think very interesting. It all started when in 1990, me, my investment banking firm, and some friends and investors decided to build the first environmental SUV in the United States and go public. So we bought a patent in England from Esarco, I think Ltd, and made a joint venture with a leading truck manufacturer in the United States, Stuart Stevenson, which turned out to be a little bit of a problem because they were, first of all, only wanted to use American Ford Motor parts, and second, they were all geared up for military purposes and wanted to see if we could develop, or this could be a vehicle which could be used mainly in the desert. We had to work very hard to get management of Stuart Stevenson to understand our point of view and our marketing strategy. I cannot say that it was very successful, but at least we made it in the Paris-Dakar, which in hindsight was more than one could have expected. So when we really went into the fun version of this vehicle, Stuart Stevenson went the other direction. We developed first a small 3-axle car, which you can see in these pictures, which was, believe me, a lot of fun and could do almost everything one would dare to ask it for. And then, like the larger version, we went to Paris-Dakar, the toughest race, later on in 1992, which became even tougher because for the only time and the first time it went from Paris to Cape Town, 12,900 kilometers, which, 1 month's driving. To get that job done, which we worked 24 hours sometimes around the clock with our team, we had to stay mentally and physically fit, and so other measurements of relaxation and aerobics needed to be put in place.
Mexico, they all went to Mexico. Buenos dias, got to go.
So to make a commercial and also test all the components of the truck, in particular the truck which Stuart Stevenson prepared with Ford Motor parts, we went to a military secure area near Reno in Nevada and tested there against the new Humvee for the desert, what they were used for later on. And it was quite a difficult task to achieve because all the drivers were military drivers and they didn't speak the same language as we did, and so we had quite a difficult time, but in the end it worked out. The area was quite a trip because it was a desert hill basically in the middle of rocks, and so we never had anything like before, but it was a lot of fun, and you can see the commercial later on in another video.
No, das ist fine, direkt bei Öl.
This is one tough truck with an even tougher team behind it. 35 degrees and 25-degree tilts provide maximum flexibility in all terrains. The Esarco pushes through water and mud nearly 3 feet deep without stopping. Equipped with 8-wheel drive for the toughest off-road terrains and 4-wheel drive for highway cruising, the Asarco switches over with a simple shift.
So im Magen, das ist ja grausam, dieses Essen. Da denkt man jetzt in Frankreich, wie isst die Gott in Frankreich? Und dann wird wie bei McDonald's. Heinz Mebusch, my old friend, which unfortunately died, me and Lucia were already there waiting for the truck, but unfortunately Stuart Stevenson had sent a truck without the right tires. So since we have 8 tires, we could not use 2 different ones. Therefore we had to wait. The drivers had to change everything, and then went, because it was very bad weather, from Hamburg to Paris on the road, and so they were very late, which caused a lot of problems. When the truck finally arrived, we had to go to the inspection to be admitted to the race, and that was another problem because the FIA, the racing body, was independent and didn't really work very well together with the organization committee of Terre Sabine. So they wanted us to put new roll bars into the truck, which was a joke because we had already the right ones. And also they didn't wanted us to use the turbulators, which were very important to go into the race. After hours of heavy discussions, we basically agreed that we would enter the race the way it is, and if we arrive in Cape Town, we would accept to be disqualified. We thought this is a very good compromise because we were only interested in going into the race and actually show that this truck can do more than what anybody expected. Now we faced another problem, how to put roll bars into a truck within a very short period of time, in the rain, cold, and under very tough conditions. But Lucia and Heinz were able to find some guys who were working for Shell on an oil rig welding underwater, and so for them it was a piece of cake. They helped us out, and actually in a couple hours we put the roll bars into a truck, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, December 24th, 1991, we were able to be going into the race exhausted but extremely happy. Achieved a lot of respect by the other drivers and teams, which helped us in the end. But again, we didn't have everything it takes to really make this thing easy for us, because what we did not know, the first race took place outside, and it was one of these things like which a normal truck would have not made, because the terrain was so tough and we were the last one racing. But normally a normal truck would have not made it, but we did. The roll bars were in. The inspectors of the FIA were astounded by that we achieved it in one night, but they had to say yes, and so we went into the race with a truck which nobody had seen ever before. Not only was it an American truck, but it also was 8 wheels, 4 axles. Now we had to have another problem to solve, because my friend Hector from Mexico brought only a check instead of cash, and without the help of the president of American Express, who cashed us on Christmas Eve a check for $20,000 for the gasoline, we would have not again made it. But like always in life, if things meant to be, they will. We started the race. We came to Libya, and it was very cold, very raining, very unusual weather condition, but perfect for us because our truck was more than well equipped for this venture. So we went into the first race and went from the seated last place, number 99, to number 4. But with this, another problem occurred, because the Libyan military under Gaddafi thought that this might be a military vehicle of the Americans, which about 2 weeks later attacked Libya and Gaddafi. So he kidnapped the drivers, our truck, and fortunately to us, 2 Italian motorcycle racers, which their fathers were very well connected, and they were able to send a very large ferry to pick up the drivers and their sons. And although the race was over for us, nobody got hurt. And eventually, we achieved something. We showed the truck is able to race in competition in the toughest terrain. And could have been different. We should have gotten a lot more out of it, but such is life.
Diese Probleme mit den politischen Unruhen. Aber der Veranstalter Gilbert Sabine, der Vater des vor vielen Jahren tödlich verunglückten Rallye-Chefs Terry Sabine, hat entschieden, die Rallye wird wie geplant fortgesetzt beim Drehstart. Hier haben wir noch Bilder vom gestrigen Tage, als die komplette Karawane im Konvoi durch das Krisengebiet geleitet wurde. Da gab es teilweise sehr diesiges Wetter und deswegen verirrte sich diese Karawane sogar hin und wieder und deshalb kam man erst. Die heutige Etappe, 695 Kilometer lang, die ganze Bongor nach Gundi gewertet werden.